Hi, I'm Nandita Abraham, President at Pearl Academy. I've been with Pearl for the last 19 years in various roles on various campuses, Mumbai, Delhi, Jaipur, and it's been an amazing journey, and I really look forward to this discussion. I actually grew up in a family of very strong women, and nobody told me that I was a woman and so couldn't do anything, and I'm really blessed for that. A lot of my role models are women, but I do see that that's not the way the rest of the world is. It is changing, but I think it becomes extremely important for us to recognize the fact that women or young girls need to be given that opportunity to identify what it is that they want to do, to go out and do it, and be supported as much as the men are today. If you look at design on the whole, I would say it's great for both sexes, but it's fabulous for women because empathy. Look at what a designer needs to have: understanding of people, empathy, some aesthetic sense, creativity. Aren't these all what traditionally we associate with a woman? Some parts of design have been traditionally male, like product design, and some parts have been traditionally female, especially in education, like fashion design. But if you look at people who are having an impact in the world, there are so many women architects, there are product designers, communication designers, and men fashion designers also. So I see that for the next generation, this has really changed, because today we're talking genderless. Our students have just brought out a magazine, you can have a look at that, called Alter, and the first issue, the theme is genderless, that irrespective of what your gender is, every young person wants to be able to make a difference and do their best for society, and I think that's really what we should encourage. I think one of the things is possibly looking at new ways of working. And that is already starting. Previously, when a woman took a break to have a child, it was often very difficult to come back, because the family said, no, you have to look after the child for 5 years, and then when she came back, it was late and difficult for her to start again. But I think the industry is seeing that, and the industry is changing the way that we're working. So there are more flexi hours, there's more work from home, people are doing projects, people are living in Goa and working with clients in Delhi and New York. Yeah, so the way that the world is working has changed. The new businesses, the setups of these new businesses have changed, and I think that really supports everything that a woman needs. Today is the right time, the absolutely right time to be in design, because design has changed what it stood for. It has moved completely away from pure aesthetics and has become a philosophy, a way of life, a way of communicating, a way of solving problems, a multidisciplinary way of working. And we have our designers and design studios working in fields that we've never really imagined before. Whether it is in IT, whether it is in hospitality, even infrastructure, of course in social work and in government, people are looking at designers as being the key to problem solving, collaborating, holding together a large team and bringing a new solution forward. So today is really the best time that I have seen, at least in the last 2 decades. For design. The areas that are becoming more and more important today is really conscious design. Okay, so being conscious about consumption, conscious about what you're using, what you're wasting, conscious about the impact of that on society, conscious about the impact of that on other industries, So really this is the direction that I think we should look at if we want design to continue to be at the forefront. Design education today has to be interdisciplinary. Design education has to have a global viewpoint because the world has become so small, and today we're servicing the world and the world is servicing us together. Design education has to be very deeply integrated with the industry. There is no other option, and young people want that. They're looking to have an education that is more rounded, and the industry needs that. Whether you're looking at trends like we see today of AI or big data, or it is essential that our students get exposed to new technologies, new ways of learning, new ways of collaborating, new ways of actually leading their lives and making their decisions. These are all the things that come into curriculum or forward-looking curriculum like we have today.
So in this whole scenario, how do you see the role of institutions like Indian.Design Council or government? What type of inclusions that you would like them to play to make?
I think design education for all. Because as we've seen, design is something that can be used in various aspects of lifestyle, of economy, with different kinds of actors of economy. Design is at the grassroots level, design is with large corporates, design is with small entrepreneurs. The government of India is taking design up as a very serious initiative. There are a lot of conversations. If you look at the Atal innovation missions, they are looking at tinkering labs, they're looking at innovation in the classroom. CBSE is taking up creativity as something that is important. I'm not sure that we have the solution, but the government is looking at it. In fact, if you look this year, the FICCI Higher Education Summit, which was led by the President of India and the Ministry of HRD, had the theme creative economy. We had partnered with them in writing the white paper, etc. So everybody is interested in design and creativity. Whether how we're going to take this forward is what we have to say. As far as the India Design Council is, it's an extremely important body. I would like to see there being more inclusivity. Design is not something that should be elite, because otherwise it can only solve elite problems, and that's not what design is meant to be.
Still, we don't see that much of collaboration in between the Indian institutions. Would you like to have, what do you
Sure.
share? Like,
absolutely.
Like, is there can be a platform there where you can have share not just the usual information, but the data also that we can share?
Sure, Ishan. I think that's extremely important, and we have started doing that already. The three key international organizations that we are a part of are IFFTI, Cumulus, and the World Design Organization. If you look at IFFTI, Pearl Academy is on the executive committee of IFFTI, and as an initiative to bring together fashion colleges in India, we've started an IFFTI India chapter, and we have brought together the 7 colleges that there are in IFFTI. We've had our 3rd meeting, and we're actually taking up initiatives to do 3 things together. One is to develop a sustainability mandate. So what does sustainability mean for fashion colleges? The second is to actually work together on teaching outside the classroom. So when our students go for trips, or NIF students go for study trips or working with crafts, etc., we're going to do it together. And the third is to develop an idea of how we can do combined projects for the industry. So we've started this. It's very important. There are many design colleges in India, and it's extremely important that we work together to do something at a larger scale. Otherwise, each of us can only work in our particular areas, but if we really want to have impact on our nation, we all need to work together.
Knowing that the way you filter people for the institution like Pearl, like what should be the filter to actually select the faculties, not just here, let's focus on the outside people. Like what should be the actual parameter to select the people for teaching Indian students design in a proper way?
See, for any faculty or for any discipline, it's important that we have the best faculty. That best faculty may be somebody from India, it may be somebody from Italy, it can be someone from anywhere in the world. But what is essential is that our students should get access to that. Now sometimes, like if you see, two of my deans, my Dean of Fashion is Italian and my Dean of Design is Portuguese. Sometimes they may be international, but the rest of my deans are Indian, because those are the best people for me to have as deans. In terms of getting international faculty, it's always interesting, because it brings a change. It's a new viewpoint. It's somebody who is bringing in a different history, culture, way of working, way of teaching and learning into the classroom. So it is, I think, essential to bring in an international faculty, but not just anybody who's available. There are some people who may not be available to come as full-time faculty. So we bring them in for a week or to do a project. In fact, in January, February next week, we have about 12 international faculty coming in leading a project. Now, the idea then is different. Then we are bringing in faculty who can come and make our students do a project with an international viewpoint, because that's what we want them to learn. But they're not going to be permanent faculty with us. When you're taking a permanent faculty on, apart from understanding their background, what they can offer and deliver, we need to understand whether they fit into the culture of what we have, whether they will be able to adapt to our teaching and learning systems, and what they will be able to offer to the organization on a whole.
Both Morris and Alex are fun to be with. A lot of design festivals nowadays. Like for last 1.5 years, I'm seeing like it's like a. But you initiated some things like what's next. Okay, so I think you actually know the recipe of a better design festival. If given a chance to like share with the major organizations like say ADI or IDC a recipe of good design festival, what all you need to include to make it better for students, industry, organizations altogether?
Yeah, sure. So firstly, it is very exciting to have a lot of design festivals. There are a lot of young people who seem to be visiting these design festivals and engaging, and whether it's design or art or fashion, Unbox, Design Up, Bangalore by Design, what it really does is it's allowing society, young people, young professionals to engage with design, and to engage with the idea of learning new things, doing things differently, being creative. It's really amazing. What we need to do really is move away from that old, boring format of conferences. A conference can be intelligent, a festival can be intelligent, but it has to be new, because who are we doing it for? If we're just doing it for ourselves, then we can just keep talking to each other. But if we're having a festival or a conference because we want to share the thoughts that we have, because we want to be thought leaders, because we want to introduce design as something that people can engage with, then we have to change the formats. So if you look at it today, there are many offbeat examples of various speculative design workshops that are going on, some installations. You have been for our What's Next, the event that we do every year. Our next What's Next is at the end of April in Bangalore, and really exciting. You have to curate an exciting event for the participants. You need to bring in some experts. I was thinking actually like if we take Jungle Book as an example, you need to bring in some experts like Bagheera, who are wise and knowledgeable and know everything. You need to bring in some people like Baloo the bear, who are happy, fun, relatable, and will do exciting things. You need to bring in some people like Sher Khan, because they always have a different point of view, but that is extremely important. And of course, you need to have young people like Mowgli, who always want to do something different. I think if you curate it properly, and if you curate it for the audience, a design festival is an amazing experience. The idea of What's Next really came up in 2014, and the idea sprung from MP Ranjan. He was about that everybody is talking about what's happening now, and where are we going to speculate on what's next. Very quickly, by November 2014, we did our first What's Next. It was called What's Next in Design Education, because that was our context and that's where we wanted to be. The next What's Next was What's Next, the impact of design. So the impact of design on industry, the impact of design on society, and of course, the impact of that on education. Last year, we had a What's Next, which focused on the creative spark. So what is that creative spark that we have in us, and where can that lead us? And our next What's Next, which is in the end of April, is themed The New Realities. So coming all this way, what are the new realities that have to do with technology, that have to do with urban living, that have to do with consumption, and how can we take that ahead, or how can we as designers or people in the field of design and creativity take that ahead? The plan of Pearl is to be the best design education institute that there is in India and hopefully in the world. We're doing this in two ways. One is through faculty. Faculty is something that is extremely important, and getting good design faculty is even more difficult than that. So 4 years ago, we started a faculty training program. It's called Postgraduate Certificate in Academic Practice, and it's a year-long program, and 35 of our faculty this time are doing that. The intention is to keep training and developing young people to not only be designers but to be academic practitioners. Next year, we're going to open this up to academic practitioners from colleges anywhere in India. Okay. The other thing that Pearl is doing is that this year, in 2020, we're opening 2 new campuses. Did you know that?
No.
One in Bangalore and one in Kolkata. It's been an extremely exciting journey. Our campus directors are in place, a few of the key faculty are in place, and of course the buildings are signed in. So hopefully you should hear more about that. The intention is to take design education to where the students are and where the industry is. So each of the Pearl campuses, actually, you will find, has developed in a very different way. Jaipur has just naturally got more integration with craft, heritage, culture, textiles, colors. Mumbai, very interestingly, I suppose we should have expected it, is becoming also about entertainment, about media, about the UI, UX, gaming, product design, things like that. And I really look forward to what Bangalore and Kolkata would be. From what we've seen and the interactions we've had, Kolkata is quite strong in textiles, in accessories and crafts, and Bangalore seems to be the city of just ideas. Ideas, whether it is in technology or is it for society, it just seems to be brimming with people who have ideas and want to do something. So I really look forward to that.
Let's go to the personal part a little bit. People who inspired you to come on this one.
Thank you for that question. And one of the people I can think of is our founder director at Pearl. His name is Dr. A.K.G. Nair, and he is the one who set up Pearl in 1993. And when I joined in 2001, and I was a faculty member and trying to figure out what it is that I wanted to do, he really is the person that told me, you know, Nandita, you can do anything. And that gave me so much of confidence because he said that you don't have to restrict yourself only to what you are teaching. This is an organization, we're growing, we're entrepreneurial. Go ahead and do anything. And I think maybe in 2004, there was an invitation from British Council. They needed somebody to go the next day to the UK for some meeting, and he said, do you want to go? I said, okay, and I went. So I had got that confidence that you don't have to be scared of anything, and you can actually do anything, you can go anywhere. And I think that is one of the things that has really kept me going. Another group of people maybe who have inspired me are people who are saying that design is not about only aesthetics or function, but actually about integrating into society, working with different kinds of people and making a difference. And I really think that that's the change that we're seeing in design, and that's what's making design so much more valuable than it ever was before. And then being able to collaborate, work together, and think of how you can make things better. I think that is something that really inspires me every day.